To save the girl I loved most, I chose to betray her when she loved me most. Everyone cursed me as a heartless bastard. I did not care. I left her and became a drug test subject. 3 years later, my life as a test subject ended. The first thing I did was not beg for her forgiveness. I went to a funeral home instead. After 3 years of drug trials, my organs were failing badly. I had only 1 month left to live. I did not want her to learn that I had deliberately staged that betrayal back then, and then spend the rest of her life drowning in regret and guilt. So I would leave her forever, taking the secret with me. Mr. Lee, the funeral package you booked cost 91,000 yuan in total. I looked at my bank card. It held only 40,000 yuan. I never thought that even choosing my preferred way to die would be a luxury for me. I handed over my card. I only have 40,000 yuan for now. Can I pay the rest in a few days? The employee said I could settle the balance within a month. Earning 51,000 yuan in 1 month would be very difficult for me, but there was one method I could try. I went to the entrance of the biggest jewelry gala in Jing City. Without an invitation, security stopped me outside. I waited at the entrance for a full 3 hours. Before the guest finally came out, Qinghan emerged arm in arm with Ding Wang, her slender figure poised and graceful. A wealthy young man beside them flattered him. A Wang. President Gu treats you incredibly well. That 80 million yuan ring. She bought it without even blinking. Ding Wang smiled sweetly. Qinghan said you only get married once, so everything has to be the best for me. Wow. That is her promise never to divorce you. The three of them were about to enter a black stretch limousine when I called out to Qinghan. Hearing my voice, she turned around. The instant she saw me, countless emotions flashed through her eyes before turning into bone-deep hatred. I walked over and removed a shell bracelet from my wrist. Qinghan, I want to trade this bracelet for 51,000 yuan. When we had just started dating, we went to the beach, and Qinghan made this from shells she picked herself. Back then, she said, Chuan, trust me. One day, you can use this to trade with me for the most precious thing in the world. Qinghan snatched the bracelet from my hand. Her eyes looked ready to devour me. Li Chuan, 3 years without a word, and you come to me just to ask for money. I lowered my gaze, avoiding her eyes. Forget it if you cannot. I was not expecting much anyway. I only wanted to see her once more before I died, to remember what she looked like. With that, I reached for the shell bracelet, but Qinghan threw it straight onto the ground. I immediately reached down for it, and she stomped on the back of my hand. I cried out in pain. Her narrow high heel ground viciously into my hand. The shells shattered, their sharp fragments piercing my palm as blood poured out. Does it hurt? It is nothing compared to what you did to me. A crowd gathered around us. They whispered, that is the man who once abandoned President Gu. That scumbag. President Gu was still building her business when she suddenly suffered heart failure. She needed a transplant to survive. The moment he found out, he abandoned her. He latched onto a rich woman and fled overseas to live off her. He must regret it bitterly now. That is why he shamelessly crawled back. What trash. If I were President Gu, I would make sure he paid with his life. They were speaking the truth, but no one knew the truth. Hidden beneath it. When Qinghan suffered heart failure and urgently needed a transplant, I went through hell to finally find a heart compatible with hers. The donor was a man in a vegetative state. His father was obsessed with pharmaceutical research. His only condition for donating his son's heart was that I volunteer as the test subject for his newly developed miracle drug. I knew Qinghan would never agree to let me become a test subject, so I found someone to help me stage an affair and abandon her. After 3 years of drug trials, the drugs had ravaged my body, causing multiple organ failure. The doctor said I would not survive another month. Qinghan pressed down harder. The pain made my entire arm tremble. I looked up at her, a faintly mocking smile in my eyes. Qinghan, you are making me think you still cannot let me go. She kicked me to the ground. You wish. My chest throbbed violently, and my face went pale. I clenched my teeth, refusing to let out a single groan. Crouching on the ground, I gathered the broken shells from the bracelet piece by piece. I slipped them into my pocket and prepared to leave. But an extravagantly dressed wealthy woman blocked my path. She held a stack of cash. I heard you were willing to sleep with someone for 10,000 yuan back then. Here is 10,000. Strip naked and show everyone how cheap you are. The crowd burst into laughter. When I did not move, someone took out another 10,000 yuan and threw it at me. If that is not enough, I will add another 10,000. Strip. The crowd immediately joined in. Strip. My face burned as humiliation surged through me. I wanted to leave, but they had me tightly surrounded. Ding Wang took Qinghan's hand. Qinghan, let us go. A man like him is not worth a second glance. Qinghan and Ding Wang were about to get in the car when someone suddenly began tearing at my clothes. Why are you still pretending to have dignity? Strip him and let everyone see. I crouched on the ground, hugging myself tightly, but my clothes had already been torn apart. My vision blurred. It felt as if I had returned to my childhood, to those days of being bullied in the orphanage. But this time, No one would come to save me. I had driven away the person who had always protected me. All of you, get lost. Qinghan's furious shout scattered the crowd. Then a warm coat was draped over me. Li Chuan, where is Liu Ryan? You abandoned me and went overseas with her. Is this how she lets you live now? I saw concern for me in her eyes. My face pale, I said. She dumped me once she got tired of me. Still, I was only after her money back then. I got what I wanted, so I have no complaints. Want to try me, President Gu? Qinghan shoved me viciously to the ground. Are you really this cheap? This desperate for money? She immediately ordered her assistant to bring 100,000 yuan. Then she threw it at me. The sharp edges cut my cheek. There should be a discount for a monthly booking. Starting today, you are my servant. For this month, I will take my time playing with you. With that, Qinghan got into the car with Ding Wang and left. I slowly picked up the 100,000 yuan from the ground. I laughed bitterly. My luck is not too bad. In one day, I have earned enough for my burial plot. I took the money back to the funeral home. After paying, I took a taxi to the address Qinghan had left me. The moment I arrived at Chuan, the butler handed me a servant's uniform. Put it on. President Gu said you will keep watch outside her door tonight. I changed and went to the bedroom door on the second floor. Before I got close, I heard sounds from inside. I froze. Those sounds became invisible blades, cutting into my heart again and again. I turned to flee in a panic, but the door suddenly opened. Qinghan stood there in a nightgown. Her exposed neck was covered in intimate marks. Her piercing gaze landed on me. How did it feel? Listening outside the door, I knew Qinghan was taking revenge for the affair I had staged years ago. I could not let my act slip. Mr. Ding sounds a little restrained. I wrapped an arm around her waist. President Gu has paid so much. I would be happy to give him some personal instruction. Qinghan gripped my chin. She snarled, you really are cheap. As long as someone pays, you will do anything. A seductive smile touched my lips. Of course. Who would turn down money? Qinghan shoved me away. A man like you disgust me, but I doubt an animal would mind. Before I understood what she meant, I heard her cold order. Take him to the backyard. The servants immediately dragged me toward the backyard. Only in the backyard did I see the vicious Tibetan Mastiff. At the sight of its huge bared fangs, my whole body began to shake. A dog had bitten me at the orphanage when I was young. Ever since, I had been deeply afraid of dogs. No, I will not go in. I begged the butler beside me. Let me go. Please. Let me go. Qinghan's cold voice came from behind me. Li Chuan, did you not say you would do anything for money? Why are you scared now? The last shred of reason kept me in control. Fighting my tremors, I said, I will do anything for money. But twisted jobs cost extra. You have not paid enough. Qinghan roared. I will add another 100,000 yuan. Lock him in. The servants shoved me hard into the cage and locked it. The Tibetan Mastiff immediately stalked toward me. I gripped the cage bars. Fear and despair consumed every shred of reason. My inner defenses collapsed. I could no longer stay calm. I looked at Qinghan and begged, Qinghan, I was wrong. I was wrong. Please let me out. Qinghan watched the man who had once hurt her, now kneeling before her, weeping in remorse. Yet she felt no pleasure in revenge. Then I suddenly screamed. The Tibetan Mastiff bit down on my calf. Pain and terror knocked me unconscious. When Ding Wang came over after getting dressed, he saw a bodyguard carrying me, with Qinghan running beside us like a madwoman. She did not even notice she had knocked him to the floor. He glared viciously at me. Jealousy and malice flashed in his eyes. When I opened my eyes again, I was lying in a soft bed. The wound on my calf had been bandaged. Ding Wang stood beside my bed. Seeing me awake, he sharply demanded, Li Chuan, why did you come back? Back then, you abandoned Qinghan when her heart was failing, leaving her alone in the home you were meant to share after the wedding. Do you know she nearly died? When I got there, she was vomiting blood all over herself. She was still calling your name. Thankfully, fate spared her. Just after I got her to the hospital, a doctor told us they had found a matching heart. But the first thing she did after her heart transplant was look for you. She said she was healed now, so you would not despise her anymore. She would work hard and give you the best life. But what about you? You went abroad with a rich woman to enjoy yourself. Do you know how desperately Qinghan cried at the airport? Tears streamed from my eyes. For the past 3 years, I have suffered no less than Qinghan. I was trapped in that sunless laboratory, unable to escape. Every day brought endless pills and drug trials. I stayed by Qinghan's side for 3 years before she let me into her heart. Now we are finally getting married. Yet you came back to cling to Qinghan for money. My lips moved. I wanted to say it was not for money. I was dying. So I wanted to see Qinghan one last time. But in the end, I could not say a word. Ding Wang snapped. I will never allow a vicious, money-grubbing freeloader like you to remain at Qinghan's side. With that, he yanked me out of bed, then slammed his own head into the wall. Bright red blood flowed from his forehead. Hearing the commotion, Qinghan rushed in. She hurriedly helped Ding Wang up. Wang, are you all right? Ding Wang leaned against Qinghan's shoulder and said weakly, Qinghan, He pushed me. I stood frozen. I never expected Ding Wang to frame me this way. Just as I tried to defend myself, Qinghan kicked me. Her eyes were terrifyingly cold. If anything happens to a Wang, you will pay with your life. Then she carried Ding Wang and rushed to the hospital. The kick sent me to the floor, agony tearing through my abdomen. I curled up in pain, but my heart hurt even more. Qinghan hated me. She even wanted me dead. Li Chuan, is this not what you wanted? Then why were you so devastated you wanted to die? After an unknown amount of time, the butler stormed in with men and dragged me to the hospital. They treated me as though I were an unforgivable criminal. At the hospital, Ding Wang's head was already wrapped in gauze. He lay pale-faced in the hospital bed. Qinghan's eyes were full of concern for him. But the moment she saw me, it turned into bone-deep hatred. Kneel and apologize to Wang. They forced me to my knees, leaving me unable to move. By then, I had given up struggling. My eyes were filled with the shadow of death. I asked, if I apologize, will you let me go? I am truly exhausted. My body and mind both hurt. Now, I only want to find somewhere quiet and quietly wait for death. At the word leave, Qinghan's heart clenched involuntarily. She grabbed the cup by the bed and splashed its water in my face. You have no right to bargain with me. Li Chuan, you will never repay what you owe me in this lifetime. I said mockingly, President Gu, you really make it seem like you cannot handle losing. People fall in love and break up. That is normal. How does that mean I owe you? You have no heart at all. Qinghan coldly ordered, hold him down and make him kowtow to a Wang an apology. Someone immediately forced my head down hard, against the hard floor. Once, twice, 3 times, until my forehead was swollen and red. Blood seeped out, yet they did not stop. At last, Ding Wang spoke up. Qinghan, I am fine now. Let him go. Qinghan put an arm around Ding Wang's shoulders. A Wang, he is vicious, and he dared lay hands on you. Do not pity him. But Ding Wang looked at Qinghan. I do not pity him. I want you to let yourself go. Qinghan, it has been 3 years. It is time to let him go. Qinghan immediately said, A Wang, do not overthink it. I stopped loving him long ago. I only want revenge on that heartless man. Ding Wang stared at her stubbornly. Is that really true? Tenderly, Qinghan kissed his forehead. Of course, I promise you, before our wedding, I will make him disappear from our lives forever. Only then did Ding Wang nod reluctantly. Qinghan turned to look at me, my head bloody and split open. She ordered, get a doctor to bandage him. Dr. Liu was casually called over. Seeing me on the floor, he asked in surprise, Mr. Li, why are you here? Qinghan frowned. You know him? My heart lurched. Dr. Liu knew the truth about the transplant years ago. Back then, he warned me that Ito Makoto was a pharmaceutical madman. He had even reduced his own son to a vegetative state. If you become a test subject in his laboratory, it will be trading your life for hers. But I insisted, even if it cost my life, I would save Qinghan. If Qinghan pressed for details, the truth about that year would be exposed. I spoke first, Miss Liu, and I got wild back then, and accidentally ended up in the hospital in the middle of the night. Dr. Liu treated us in the emergency room. At that, Qinghan's face darkened frighteningly. Li Chuan, you truly are disgusting. Disinfect this room and everyone in it thoroughly. After giving the order, she left with Ding Wang. I caught the hem of Dr. Liu's coat. I begged, Dr. Liu, please do not tell Qinghan the truth about what happened. Dr. Liu looked at my battered state. He asked, you saved her, endured 3 years of torment in that laboratory, and now you are dying while she still misunderstands you. Is it truly worth it? A faint, bloodless smile touched my lips. My eyes were as resolute as they had been years ago. It is. Soon, a group of nurses in protective suits entered carrying disinfectant. They sprayed it heavily over me and throughout the room. The thick mist made me cough until tears ran down my face. Dr. Liu sighed deeply and handed me a tissue. Then he disinfected and bandaged my injured forehead. Over the next few days, Qinghan did not do anything strange to me. She simply tormented me as though I were a servant. She made me hold a basin while she washed her feet, then kicked the basin over. She made me kneel and wipe the water dry. The meals I painstakingly cooked were dumped before my eyes for the dog to eat. Someone as filthy as you only makes food fit for animals. She took Ding Wang shopping at luxury boutiques. She spent over 10 million yuan buying every watch in a designer store. Then she made me carry every watch back to the villa on foot. I ran back and forth for a full day and night, until I collapsed from exhaustion in the road. When I woke in the hospital again, Dr. Liu told me that because I had pushed my body to hard these past days, my body could no longer hold on. I had, at most, 1 week left to live. Hearing that, I only felt relieved. At last, I would not have to drag around this half-dead body while suppressing my longing for Qinghan. But before I died, there was one more thing I had to do. Just then, Qinghan called. Li Chuan, You only fainted from anemia. How long are you going to slack off in the hospital? She ordered. Get to the romantic bridal shop and help Wang change. I got out of bed and rushed to the bridal shop. My face was frighteningly pale, so I had a nurse apply light makeup to cover it up. When I arrived at the bridal shop, Qinghan had changed into her wedding gown and Ding Wang into his formal suit. They stepped out of the fitting room. The gown was pale lavender, perfectly outlining Qinghan's graceful figure. The staff nearby said enviously, "This wedding gown is absolutely gorgeous. I heard President Gu designed it herself." The lavender on the gown was modeled after Provence, recreated in exact detail. I stood frozen, my eyes welling with tears. This wedding gown was exactly like the one I had once designed for Qinghan. She had truly made it, but the man she wanted to marry in it was no longer me. Qinghan gently fixed Ding Wang's hair, but when she turned and saw me, her warmth vanished. "You look so rosy." "What anemia?" "Just as I thought. You conspired with the doctor to make excuses." I raised a hand and wiped away the tears gathering in my eyes. Then I forced a smile that looked worse than crying. "You saw through me." I was hoping to use it to rest a few more days. Qinghan sneered. "Li Chuan, I hired you for 1 month for 100,000 yuan, not to let you live in comfort. Go carry Wang's shoes now." I walked over, picked up the pointed leather shoes from the shelf, and set them by Ding Wang's feet. After Ding Wang put on his shoes, he stomped hard on the back of my hand. I cried out, "My hand." Ding Wang slowly lifted his foot and said casually, "Sorry, my vision blurred. I did not see where I was stepping." Qinghan glanced at the bruised back of my hand. "He is only a servant. You stepped on him. Why apologize?" Qinghan walked over and linked her arm through Ding Wang's. Ding Wang looked at Qinghan, his eyes full of undisguised love. The perceptive staff came over as well to arrange Qinghan's train. A bitter ache filled my heart as they squeezed me aside. I left the room with downcast eyes, but after only a few steps, someone grabbed my arm from behind. Qinghan dragged me into the lounge next door. She pressed close, blocking my way. "Li Chuan, if you had not cheated back then, everything here today would have been yours. You must regret it now. Regret it. If I had not agreed to test the drug, I would not have endured those 3 sunless years, or ended up on the brink of death." But looking at Qinghan, alive before me, I felt it had all been worth it. I raised my eyes to meet hers, and said firmly, "No, I do not regret it." "Why?" Qinghan gripped my shoulders and roared, "You abandoned me for money. Now I have money and power. Why do you not regret it?" I pushed her away, using an icy voice to suppress the endless love in my heart. "There is no reason. I never regret what I have done." Then I took a bank card from my bag and held it out. "There are 6 to 4,000 yuan left on it. Take it back. From now on, I am no longer your servant." Qinghan, we are over." In an instant, Qinghan seemed to return to 3 years ago. I had stood before her with Liu Ryan in my arms and said just as coldly, "Qinghan, I do not love you anymore. From today onward, we are over." When Qinghan said nothing, I shoved the card into her hand and turned to leave. I was afraid that if I stayed, I would no longer be able to suppress my feelings. Just as I gripped the doorknob, Qinghan rushed up behind me. She wrapped her arms around my waist and pinned me against the wall. "Li Chuan, do you think I am still the same foolish Qinghan from 3 years ago? You think you can leave whenever you want and abandon me whenever you please?" As Qinghan's face drew closer, panic swept through me. "What are you doing?" Before I could finish, Qinghan lifted my chin and kissed me fiercely. I made a muffled sound and struggled violently, but she held me even tighter. My lips split under her bite, and the taste of blood spread between our mouths. The door suddenly flew open. Ding Wang stood in the doorway, dressed as a groom. He stared wide-eyed at the two of us in disbelief. Qinghan finally came to her senses. Qinghan looked at Ding Wang guiltily. "A Wang eye." Ding Wang staggered back several steps, then turned and ran out. Qinghan immediately chased after him. It felt as though all the strength had drained from my body. Without Qinghan supporting me, I slid down the wall to the floor. I covered my face with my hands, but tears still slipped through my fingers. I could feel that Qinghan still loved me, but I could not return it. I was about to die. Why did heaven have to torment me like this? Ding Wang ran from the shop and weaved through the street. A speeding car hurtled straight toward him. Qinghan swiftly pulled him back. Ding Wang shook off Qinghan's hand and tried to rush into traffic again. "Why did you save me? Let me die. Then you can openly be with Li Chuan." Qinghan held Ding Wang tightly and pulled him to the side. "Wang, listen to me." Ding Wang covered his ears. "I will not listen. I will not." Yet Qinghan's voice still reached him. "Wang, I truly planned to marry you. But from the moment Li Chuan appeared before me, my heart was no longer under my control. I hate him, but I love him even more. If I still marry you now, that would be unfair to you too." Tears streamed down Ding Wang's face as he looked at Qinghan. "Qinghan, I do not want fairness. I only want to be with you. Li Chuan does not deserve your love. He left you when you were helpless and needed him most. I was the one who stayed by your side. Qinghan, Why can you not look at me more? I have loved you for 5 whole years, but I have loved Li Chuan for 18 years. From our first meeting at the orphanage, when I was 7, when he gave a piece of candy to me as I secretly cried at night, he has lived in my heart, even though he once abandoned me. I have never forgotten him. Wang, I am sorry. I am not good enough for you. Ding Wang broke down and shouted, Qinghan, wake up. Li Chuan does not love you. He only wants your money. Qinghan's eyes held a fearless resolve for love. Even if he only wants my money, I accept that. I will only be grateful that I have money now and can finally give Li Chuan everything he wants. Qinghan brought the devastated Ding Wang back to the bridal shop. Just as she was about to confess her feelings to me, I spoke first. President Gu, I only came back because Liu Ryan and I had a fight. That is why I came looking for you. Liu Ryan just called to make up with me. She even booked me a flight back to M country. I have decided to go back. I will not attend your wedding to Mr. Ding. I wish you a long, happy marriage and children soon. Qinghan's fury reached its peak, yet she appeared unnaturally calm. Li Chuan, what have I truly been to you all this time? Suppressing my heartache, I curled my lips into a mocking smile. President Gu, must I spell it out? You were my backup, of course. When Liu Ryan and I broke up, I only came back to cling to someone as powerful as you. Now Liu Ryan has come back to reconcile with me. Naturally, I will choose the woman I love. President Gu, you are not bad, but you are far too conservative in bed. I prefer someone like Liu Ryan. Only someone as wild as Liu Ryan can satisfy me. Qinghan raised her hand and slapped me hard across the face. Li Chuan, you are utterly shameless. I raised a hand to cover my cheek. My voice choked as I said, yes, I am pathetic. You should have known that 3 years ago. President Gu. With that, I started to leave. Qinghan raised an arm to block my path. Li Chuan, give my bracelet back. From now on, I never want to see you again. I stopped and took from my wrist the shell bracelet she had crushed and that I had repaired. Qinghan took the bracelet and without mercy, crushed the shells beneath her foot again. This time, they could never be repaired. I heard the sound of my own heart breaking. I asked quietly, can I leave now? Qinghan said coldly, I have something to return to you too. Once you take it, whether you live or die, you will have nothing to do with me ever again. Fine. That is exactly what I wanted to hear. After I die, I only want Qinghan to stay healthy, safe, happy, and live a good life. Qinghan lowered her head and softly told Ding Wang, Wang, wait here for me. I will be back soon. She made him a solemn promise. When I return, you will be the only one in my heart, and the only one I love. Ding Wang could feel how serious she was. He nodded firmly. I will wait for you. Qinghan drove me to the largest candy store in Jing City. Bring out every piece of candy in the store. It was the first time the clerk had heard such a request. The clerk asked uncertainly, Miss, do you mean all of it? Qinghan took a black card from her bag and tossed it before the clerk. Yes, all of it. Before long, bags upon bags of candy from the warehouse were brought out before us. Qinghan picked up a large bag and poured it out before me. Li Chuan, when I was 7, you gave me one piece of candy and took my heart. Now I am giving you back thousands upon thousands of candies to buy my heart back. My nails dug into my palms, leaving bloody marks. My voice caught as I said, fine. Qinghan, from now on, we owe each other nothing. That is right. We owe each other nothing. Qinghan did not spare me another glance. She turned and left without hesitation. Only after her figure vanished completely into the crowd did I finally look away. I unwrapped the candy on the floor and stuffed it into my mouth, piece after piece. I did not stop until I ate so much that I vomited. I crouched on the ground and sobbed uncontrollably. All the hurt and pain of these past years, and the love I had buried for Qinghan, poured out in my cries. In the end, I asked the clerk to pack up all the candy and send it to the children at Jing City Orphanage. The next day, I bought a plane ticket and headed for Provence, where I had arranged my own funeral. I had chosen a flower burial. After I died, my ashes would be scattered across the lavender fields of Provence. Just before boarding, a news report about a car crash played on the large screen. At a glance, I recognized the mangled car was Qinghan's. My mind went blank. Then I raced to the hospital. On the way, I called Qinghan over and over, but no one ever answered. In my heart, I prayed and begged heaven to keep Qinghan safe. I was willing to pay with everything I had. When I reached the hospital, Dr. Liu solemnly told Ding Wang, the patient has been resuscitated and is out of danger, but both of her eyes suffered trauma. Her corneas are severely damaged. She will be blind when she wakes up. Ding Wang reeled as if struck. Grabbing the doctor with both hands, he pleaded, Doctor, please, you have to cure her. Her eyes are extremely important to her. She cannot go blind. To cure her, she would need a corneal transplant, but the hospital has no cornea donors right now. I will donate. I rushed before Dr. Liu and urgently said, I am willing to donate my corneas. Please operate immediately. Dr. Liu frowned. Mr. Li, corneas cannot be donated by a living person. I said anxiously, You know, I only have a few days left to live. Dr. Liu replied gravely. Even if you do not have long left, the hospital has no precedent for taking corneas from a living donor. It is unacceptable both legally and ethically. I snatched a scalpel from a nearby tray and held it to my throat. If I have to die before I can donate, then I will die right here in front of you. After negotiations, and after I signed a liability waiver, the hospital agreed to perform the operation. I let out a breath of relief, then turned to Ding Wang. Please do not tell Qinghan that I donated my corneas. Ding Wang was full of confusion. What is going on? How could you be dying? He suddenly recalled those melodramatic television dramas and asked in a trembling voice, did you really cheat on and betray Qinghan for money back then? A faint smile appeared on my face. Mr. Ding, please take good care of Qinghan from now on. With that, I walked into the operating room without looking back. In the operating room, Qinghan and I lay into adjacent beds. I reached over, took her hand, and interlaced our fingers. Then I spoke the name I had kept buried in my heart. Ahan, I am so glad that before I die, I can do one last thing for you. Tears slipped from the corners of my eyes. Ahan, I love you. The anesthetic slowly entered my body. I closed my eyes, and at last, my fingers fell limp. Qinghan felt as if she had dreamed a very long dream. In it, she saw our first meeting at the orphanage, our first time holding hands, our first kiss, then my betrayal and affair, and finally, the candy store, where we owed each other nothing. Through the haze, she heard someone say, the corneal transplant was successful. The donor, Chuan, has died. My body was covered with a white sheet and wheeled from the operating room. Ding Wang rushed over in panic. What happened to him? Dr. Liu said, during the operation, Mr. Li went into shock from heart failure, and he has passed away. Ding Wang stood frozen, unable to believe what was before him. He had only just learned that my betrayal of Qinghan years ago might have had another side to it, and now, I had died right before his eyes. Just then, staff from the funeral home arrived carrying the papers I had signed before my death and approached the doctor. Mr. Li arranged his own funeral 10 days ago. Please release Mr. Li's body to us. After verifying information, the doctor released my body to the funeral home staff. Ding Wang hurriedly stepped forward to stop them. Are you saying Chuan, 10 days ago, arranged his funeral with you? Ding Wang felt he had learned far too much today. Too much for him to process. 10 days ago was the day Qinghan and I reunited. I already knew then that I was going to die. The staff member nodded. Yes, we will now honor the agreement and cremate Mr. Li's body, then hold his funeral. With that, they wheeled my body away. Ding Wang instinctively tried to stop them, but Qinghan was wheeled out of the operating room. He had no time to think of anything else. He went straight with Qinghan to the intensive care unit. 2 hours later, Qinghan woke from the anesthesia. When she saw Ding Wang keeping watch beside her bed, she could not hide her disappointment. I had filled her dream, but I was not the one she saw when she woke. Qinghan, it is time to face reality. That heartless man has probably boarded a flight to M country to get back together with Li Ryan. Ding Wang's eyes filled with joy. Qinghan, you are awake. Qinghan nodded and took Ding Wang's hand. Wang, I made you worry. Tears welled in Ding Wang's eyes. Qinghan, all that matters is that you are all right. The doctor making rounds entered to give the awakened Qinghan a post-operative examination. Her vision was normal, with no signs of corneal transplant rejection. Hearing that, Qinghan suddenly turned to the doctor. What? You said I had a corneal transplant. Earlier, in the operating room, she had vaguely heard someone say something. She had thought she was dreaming. Was she not? The doctor answered, that is correct. Your eyes were injured in the car accident. Your cornea is ruptured severely. Without a corneal transplant, you would have gone blind. Who was it? Qinghan immediately pressed. Who donated their corneas to me? Due to confidentiality rules, we cannot provide any information about the donor. The doctor then turned and left. Qinghan immediately threw back the covers and tried to get out of bed. Ding Wang hurriedly stopped her. Qinghan, what are you doing? If they will not tell me, I will find out myself. Qinghan was in a terrible panic. She was terrified that what she heard in her dream was true. I know, Ding Wang said, trying to calm Qinghan. I know who it was. It was a woman who died from shock after a heart attack. Hospital policy prevents us from revealing any information about the donor, but I saw her during the operation. I even had my assistant give her family compensation. The weight lifted from Qinghan's heart, and she lay back down. With a self-mocking smile, she said, Wang, do you know? I had a long dream in the operating room. Chuan was everywhere in it. I even dreamed that he donated his corneas to me. Isn't that ridiculous? Before this, Ding Wang would have spared no effort to vilify me. But now, he could not say a word, because I really had donated my corneas to her and given my life for it. He clasped Qinghan's hand tightly. Qinghan, forget Chuan. Think of those memories as a dazzling, beautiful, yet painfully unforgettable dream. Qinghan closed her eyes. Only after a long while did she slowly nod. She truly needed to move forward. Chuan, from now on, I will erase you completely from my memories. A week later, Gu Qinghan was discharged. She began preparing her wedding to Ding Wang. News of their wedding spread everywhere online. The closer the wedding came, the more suffocated Gu Qinghan felt. Countless times, she found herself thinking of running away from the wedding to find me in M country. But whenever that thought surfaced, she forcibly crushed it. She reminded herself that a Wang had saved her life. A Wang had also stood by her through the darkest, lowest point of her life. She could not betray a Wang. Gradually, she learned to numb herself with alcohol. Only then could she escape the pain. After getting drunk again, Gu Qinghan clung to Ding Wang and wept in agony. I love you so much. Why were you so cruel to me? I can forgive you for abandoning me. I can even let go of everything between you and Liu Ryan and M country. Chuan, come back to me. I made the wedding dress you designed. You saw it that day, didn't you? Was it just as you described it? When I designed that dress, I imagined countless times how I would look wearing it as I married you. Chuan, I have money and power now. I can make every dream you ever wanted come true. Why did you still choose Liu Ryan instead of me? Why? With bleary, drunken eyes, Gu Qinghan held Ding Wang's hand, desperately seeking answers from him. Ding Wang did not feel any better. He had always known that Gu Qinghan loved me deeply, no matter how well she hid it during the day. He knew she had never forgotten me for even a moment. After taking Gu Qinghan home, Ding Wang left the villa and looked up at the pitch-black sky. They say people become stars when they die. Li Chuan, have you become a star too? Li Chuan, what kind of person were you? He once thought I was a kept man, greedy, vain, and vicious. But after the cornea donation, Ding Wang vaguely realized that all this time, they had misunderstood me. Perhaps there was a hidden truth behind it all. But now, he felt there was no need to dig deeper, because I was dead, and the dead cannot return. For them, the truth might only cause more pain. With the wedding as his deadline, Ding Wang set a limit for himself. If Gu Qinghan truly could walk down the aisle with him hand in hand, then he would love and protect her no matter what. He would spend the rest of his life warming her heart. But if they ultimately could not marry, then they were simply not meant to be. He would let her go and tell Gu Qinghan that I had donated my corneas to her. 3 days before the wedding, relatives from the Gu and Ding families gathered together to prepare for the wedding day. Gu Qinghan had lost both parents as a child and been sent to an orphanage. She had very few relatives she kept in touch with. The Ding family was a large clan. Many relatives from abroad had returned for the wedding. Ding Wang's cousin came all the way back from M country, bringing his girlfriend with him. Brother, sister-in-law, this is my girlfriend, Liu Ryan. The room fell silent. Gu Qinghan stared fixedly at Liu Ryan. You're his girlfriend. Then what about Li Chuan? Liu Ryan felt as though she had been targeted by a cold, venomous snake. She recognized Gu Qinghan too. What a small world, she thought. Back then, at my request, she had acted out a cheating scene with me right in front of her. Now, she and Gu Qinghan were about to become sisters-in-law. Remembering what happened back then, she felt rather awkward. She gave an awkward laugh. Li Chuan, that was so long ago. We broke up ages ago. Dingzhu is my true love. But before she could finish, Gu Qinghan slapped her across the face. You had just coaxed Li Chuan into returning to M country, and now you claim Dingzhu is your true love. Today, I will teach you a lesson. You two-timing bitch. The sudden slap left Liu Ryan stunned. But she was not one to take abuse lying down. Once she recovered, she immediately slapped Gu Qinghan back. Stop making wild accusations against me. My feelings for Dingzhu are real. When did I ever to time anyone? Ding Wang and Dingzhu rushed over to break them apart. Gu Qinghan seized her by the collar and demanded coldly, you keep saying Dingzhu is the one you truly love. Then what was Li Chuan to you? If you did not love him, why did you take him away from me back then? Why did you take him abroad? Hearing Gu Qinghan's convincing words, Dingzhu could not help looking at Liu Ryan. Did you really betray me? Liu Ryan pulled free from Gu Qinghan's grip and said urgently, Dingzhu, do you still doubt my love for you? But doubt still lingered in Dingzhu's eyes. Then how do you explain what she said? Liu Ryan could no longer worry about anything else. She revealed the truth about that year. What happened back then was just an act Li Chuan asked me to perform. Gu Qinghan froze on the spot. What? Li Chuan said he needed to leave you for a while back then, but he was afraid you would not let him go. So he asked me to act with him in a cheating scene to make you leave him alone. He and I did nothing back then. As for you saying I took him to M country, that was also an excuse he used to get away from you. Dingzhu added, Liu Ryan and I have been in M country for 3 years. I have never seen any other man around her. After processing Liu Ryan's words, Gu Qinghan asked again, scarcely daring to believe it. You are saying that Li Chuan, behind my back, never actually cheated with you? And that he never went to M country with you either? That's right. After Liu Ryan confirmed it, Gu Qinghan immediately turned and headed outside. If what happened back then was a lie, then Li Chuan's claim that he had reconciled with Liu Ryan and returning to M country must have been a lie too. Where had Li Chuan been for the past 3 years? Why did he lie to her? Gu Qinghan's mind was overflowing with questions. Only by finding me could she get answers. But as soon as she left the hotel, Ding Wang caught up with her. Qinghan, are you going to find Li Chuan? Qinghan felt deeply guilty facing Ding Wang. Wang, I only want to ask him what really happened back then. I want to know why he lied to me. Ding Wang asked solemnly. And after you know the truth, will you still marry me? Qinghan's lips moved, but she could not give him a definite answer. Wang, I cannot think about anything right now. I only want to find Li Chuan as soon as possible. A bitter smile touched Ding Wang's lips. I think I already know your answer, since they had come this far. Qinghan no longer hid her feelings and said plainly, Wang, I am sorry. Later, I will go to your home myself and apologize to your parents. With that, she took out her phone and called her assistant, telling them to track me down. In a heavy voice, Ding Wang said, Qinghan, do not look for him. I know where Li Chuan is. Joy surged through Qinghan. She did not even have time to wonder why. Ding Wang knew Li Chuan's whereabouts. She asked impatiently, Where is Li Chuan? Ding Wang took a deep breath and slowly said, He is dead. Li Chuan is dead. Qinghan's face darkened instantly. Wang, I am the one who wronged you. Why are you cursing Li Chuan? Ding Wang shook his head and revealed the cruel truth. I am not cursing him. He really is dead. On the day of your car accident, he donated his corneas to you. Qinghan swayed, nearly collapsing. Impossible. Impossible. You are lying to me. Li Chuan cannot be dead. But in the operating room that day, the doctor's words echoed through her mind again and again. The cornea transplant was successful. Donor Li Chuan has died. Qinghan painfully struck her own head. So that day was real. It was not a hallucination. The next second, Qinghan spat out a mouthful of blood. She crumpled to the ground, murmuring the same words over and over. I killed Li Chuan. I killed Li Chuan. Ding Wang immediately called emergency services and sent Qinghan to the hospital. After emergency treatment, Qinghan was out of danger. But lying in that hospital bed, she seemed as though her very soul had been ripped away. There was no life left in her. With red-rimmed eyes, Ding Wang sat beside Qinghan, holding her hand. Qinghan, pull yourself together. Li Chuan did not die because of you. He did not have long to live anyway. Those words finally drew a response from Qinghan. She looked up at Ding Wang. What do you mean, he did not have long to live? Ding Wang choked up. That day, Li Chuan rushed into the hospital and said he wanted to donate his corneas to you. At first, Dr. Liu refused because living donors could not donate them. He put a scalpel to his own throat and said he was going to die anyway. If a donor had to be dead, then he would die right then. The hospital later had him sign a liability waiver before agreeing to perform the transplant. During the operation, he went into shock from heart failure and died. The moment he died, people from the funeral home arrived and took his body away. They said that 10 days earlier, on the day you reunited, he had already arranged his own funeral. So, Qinghan, you did not kill Li Chuan. Qinghan was left completely stunned. From Li Chuan's supposed affair 3 years ago to their reunion 3 years later, every memory kept surfacing in Qinghan's mind. She felt the answer she sought was right before her, yet she could never see it clearly. Finally, she identified a key person, Dr. Liu. Qinghan pushed herself up from the hospital bed and ordered the assistant outside, bring Dr. Liu here. Before long, Dr. Liu was brought before Qinghan. Miss Gu, why did you send for me? Qinghan narrowed her eyes and fixed him with a piercing stare. I want to know everything about Li Chuan. Dr. Liu feigned confusion. I do not know anything about Mr. Li. Miss Gu, have you got the wrong person? Though weak, Qinghan's voice carried immense authority. Dr. Liu, you are a smart man. I do not want to use force. Dr. Liu looked at the sickly woman before him, whose commanding presence remained undiminished. He could not help recalling Li Chuan's sorrowful plea. Miss Gu, sometimes people should not cling so tightly to the past. Sometimes it is better not to know. Qinghan clenched her fist until veins bulged on the backs of her hands. She said, word by word, what if I insist on knowing? Dr. Liu gave a soft sigh. Very well. Mr. Li loved you so deeply. You deserve to know his love, rather than let it be buried with him forever. Miss Gu, when you suffered sudden heart failure 3 years ago, the young man who donated his heart to you was in a vegetative state. Do you know who his father was? Qinghan nodded. I remember his father was the director of a pharmaceutical research laboratory. Because I received his son's heart, I was able to live again. After Qinghan's business became successful, she donated a large sum to that laboratory every year to support its research. Dr. Liu spoke gravely. Yi Cheng is a pharmaceutical madman. His mother died of amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. His lifelong wish has been to develop a cure for amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. When he first founded the laboratory, he lacked both funding and staff. He even used his own son for drug experiments, which left the boy in a vegetative state. Human drug trials need living test subjects most of all. 3 years ago, you desperately needed his son's heart to survive. He saw an opportunity in that, so he offered Mr. Li a condition in exchange. Qinghan's pupils constricted. An answer rose unbidden in her heart. Her voice trembled. What condition? He demanded that Mr. Li volunteer to become a human test subject for his drugs. After 3 years as a living test subject, those unknown drugs had already destroyed Mr. Li's health. The drugs ravaged his body, causing multiple organ failure. He could no longer serve as a test subject, so Yi Tangsheng released him from the laboratory. After hearing the whole story, even Ding Wang, standing nearby, was stunned. He never imagined the truth would be this. Li Chuan's love for Gu Qinghan ran so deep, he was willing to trade his life for hers. It was as though an invisible hand had clutched Gu Qinghan's heart tightly, leaving her in too much pain to breathe. A Chuan, Maya Chuan. He had done so much for her, endured so much pain. But what had she done to force him to give in? She had fought with him and endlessly humiliated and tormented him. Now, Gu Qinghan wished she could go back and kill the person she used to be. But first, she would avenge a Chuan. Her eyes were bloodshot, and she looked like the Lord of Hell. Each word dripped with blood as she said, Yi Tangsheng, I will make you pay for this in blood. After Yi Tangsheng received an invitation from Gu Technology, Yi Tangsheng immediately arrived with the contract. Gu Technology was offering them 10 billion yuan in funding for pharmaceutical research. Yi Tangsheng was ecstatic. With 10 billion yuan, he was certain it would fund his work long enough to develop a cure for amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. Then he would become a great man whose name would be remembered throughout history. Only, this meeting place was unlike usual. It was not at Gu Technology, but at Gu Qinghan's home, and he was the only guest invited. But Yi Tangsheng had already been swept away by overwhelming joy. He quickly dismissed the small cause for suspicion. Gu Qinghan personally received Yi Tangsheng. He felt deeply honored by the attention. She lifted her glass toward Yi Tangsheng. Calmly, she said, Director Yi, make yourself at home. Treat this place as your own home. Yi Tangsheng quickly raised his own glass. President Gu, you are truly generous and noble. Thank you for this donation to our laboratory. A toast to you. She watched him drain the glass in one gulp. A faint smile appeared on Gu Qinghan's face. Speaking of generosity, if Director Yi had not so generously given me your son's heart back then, I would not be here today. Not at all. It was simply a doctor's compassion. I am in the medical field. Naturally, I could not stand by and let you die. Gu Qinghan smashed her glass onto the floor. What a fine example of a doctor's compassion. Director Yi, tell me, using healthy living people for drug experiments, is that your compassion? Gu Qinghan's sudden outburst startled Yi Tangsheng. He now sensed that something was wrong. He stood up. President Gu, I do not know what you mean. It seems today's contract cannot be discussed for now. I will be leaving. With that, he immediately turned to leave. But at the door, he discovered it had been locked tight. At the same time, it felt as though all strength had drained from his limbs. He could barely remain standing. Gu Qinghan slowly rose to her feet, a sharp scalpel in her hand. Idly twirling it, she walked toward Yi Tangsheng. Yi Tangsheng pressed himself against the wall, his eyes full of terror. President Gu, let us talk this through. Is there some misunderstanding? Gu Qinghan clapped her hands. From the wall directly ahead, a giant portrait of Li Chuan dropped down. Yi Tangsheng, do you remember agreeing to let your son donate his heart to me? Do you remember? You tortured a Chuan in your laboratory for 3 whole years, and now you call it a misunderstanding? Looking at Li Chuan's portrait, Yi Tangsheng recalled what had happened. Back then, the laboratory lacked funding. It also had too few test subjects. Without clinical data, the experiments could not proceed. Then this young man came to see him. He knelt before him, begging him to donate his vegetative son's heart to the woman he loved. He said he would spend his life repaying him. So Yi Tangsheng offered him a place as a test subject at the laboratory. Until recently, after years of drug trials, his bodily functions had severely failed, and he could no longer endure the testing. Only then was he released from the laboratory. A sinister smile crossed Gu Qinghan's face. She stepped before Yi Tangsheng and raised her hand, driving the knife viciously into his shoulder. Yi Tangsheng screamed as pain brought him back to his senses. He looked at Gu Qinghan and begged, President Gu, he volunteered to become a test subject. I did not force him. Gu Qinghan pressed the knife deeper. Her gaze grew increasingly crazed. He volunteered, but I never agreed to it. I would rather have died than let him save me this way. Cold sweat poured from Yi Tangsheng in agony. His legs gave out, and he collapsed to the floor. President Gu, spare me, please. Gu Qinghan pulled out the knife. If I spare your life, did you ever spare a Chuan? You took a healthy man and tortured him until his body failed, and he died. Today, you will pay for his life. Gu Qinghan stabbed him again. Soon, Yi Tangsheng's body was riddled with bloody wounds. Yet every strike avoided a fatal spot. Yi Tangsheng convulsed in pain and curled into a ball. He kept begging Gu Qinghan for mercy. President Gu, I truly did not know. He meant so much to you. Otherwise, even if I had 10 times the nerve, I would never have used him to test drugs. You have a thriving career, and the perfect man by your side. There is no need to ruin your future over my worthless life. Gu Qinghan looked down at him coldly. Nothing you say today will save you from death. She raised the blade toward Yi Tangsheng's heart, ready to deal the final blow. The door suddenly burst open, Seeing the room, Qinghan grabbed Gu Qinghan's wrist. The blade stopped at Yi Tangsheng's chest. He pleaded urgently, "Qinghan, do not act on impulse. Yi Tangsheng illegally used living people for drug test. The law will punish him. If you kill him now, you will become a murderer. Do not do something so foolish." Gu Qinghan threw off Ding Wang's hand. Her eyes were utterly lifeless. "Wang, tell me, what is truly foolish? A Chuan became a human test subject to save me, yet he did not dare let me know. He would rather lie that he had cheated on me, so I would misunderstand and hate him. Is that not foolish? Though dying, he still chose to donate his corneas to me. In the end, he died in the operating room. Is that not foolish? He loved me so deeply and gave me everything, yet I did not even know he was dead. I was even preparing a grand wedding with someone else. Tell me, was he not a fool? He was foolish for me so many times. What is wrong with being foolish for him once?" Ding Wang shook his head, tears streaming down his face. "Qinghan, everything Mr. Li did for you was because he wanted you to live well. Do not betray his hope. I only want to live if he is alive." With that, Gu Qinghan brought the knife down. Ding Wang shouted, "Qinghan, do you want to go to hell and be separated from Mr. Li forever?" The blade veered slightly, piercing beside Yi Tangsheng's heart. Gu Qinghan hesitated. She looked at Ding Wang. Is there really another life? This life was already destined to be full of regret. A Chuan was dead. She could never be with him again. She wanted another life with a Chuan. Seeing this, Ding Wang took a deep breath. There definitely is. And someone as kind as Mr. Li will surely go to heaven when he dies. But if your hands are stained with blood and you go to hell, how will you ever find him? He took the scalpel from Gu Qinghan's hand. Slowly, he said, "Yi Tangsheng hurt Mr. Li so terribly. He should be kept alive, barely clinging to life, suffering every day. Not granted such an easy death." Gu Qinghan glanced at the man lying on the floor. Yi Tangsheng, who had already passed out. She called in bodyguards. Cut out his tongue. Send him to the hospital. Just keep him alive. A Chuan suffered for 3 years. She would make Yi Tangsheng repay it 100, 1,000 times over. Afterward, Gu Qinghan took people to destroy Yi Tangsheng's drug research laboratory. Through the footage, she finally saw what Li Chuan had endured there for 3 years. On his first day there, a Chuan was still the smiling young man she remembered. But the researchers did not see him as a human being. They treated him as nothing but a research specimen. They repeatedly drew his blood, forced him to take drugs, and ran tests. Day after day, he took drugs and provided data. No one cared about the pain the drugs inflicted on him. As the drugs ravaged him, Li Chuan's complexion worsened by the day, and his spirit faded more each day. At the end of the footage, my body had almost completely failed. I could no longer withstand the drug's effects. I writhed and rolled across the floor in agony. Yet even then, I kept calling her name. "Ahan, it hurts so much. Ahan, I miss you so much." Gu Qinghan could not stop herself from reaching out to touch the small figure on the screen. How she wished she could smooth away my furrowed brow and bear that pain in my place. Tears of regret and anguish streamed down her cheeks. She hated herself beyond measure. When I came to see her, she failed to notice anything wrong with me. Back then, she was consumed by anger and hatred. She humiliated and tormented me, wanting me to surrender. She wanted to hear me say I regretted it, to find some lingering love in me. But each disappointment made her hate me even more. Hate me for being so heartless. Hate that I had abandoned our years of love. But now she understood. It was not that I did not love her. I loved her too much. That was why I used cruel words to hide the love I held for her. Gu Qinghan found the room where I had lived at the laboratory. It was so small it could hold only one bed. There was not even a window. I spent 3 years there. She curled up on the narrow bed, as though she could feel my warmth that way. Feel my burning, unspoken love. A Chuan, I miss you so much. In a daze, the moment she confessed to me appeared before her eyes again. We had just turned 18 then. Under the rules, we could no longer stay at the orphanage. After living there for over a decade, I had pitifully little luggage. Carrying my things, I kept looking back at the orphanage. I told her, "Ahan, I have lived at the orphanage since I was born. This place is my home. Now I feel as though I have been abandoned again. It hurts so much." Gu Qinghan hesitated for a few seconds. Then she took my hand. "You still have me. I am your family too. I will never abandon you." I shook off her hand and said bitterly, "If you get a boyfriend someday, you will forget all about me. I saw the most popular boy at school confess to you last time." She took my hand again. I turned him down. I turned away and ignored her. Even if you rejected that Li guy, there will be a Zhang, a Liu, and plenty more after him. Sooner or later, you will say yes to one of them. I had just turned 18, and first love had taken hold of me. I had already fallen deeply in love with Gu Qinghan, but she had always cared for me only as family. I was unsure how she felt about me. I did not dare ask, yet feared someone else would take her away. Gu Qinghan understood what I meant. Smiling, she said, "I know a permanent solution. It will ensure that even if I get a boyfriend someday, I will never leave you." She hugged me tightly. "A Chuan, Be my boyfriend. Let us take our relationship one step beyond family. Then one day, we can officially become family, okay? Her words left me stunned. At last, I nodded with a flushed face. Later, we confessed our feelings to each other and discovered we had long chosen one another. Qinghan even teased me, saying she had once feared she would frighten me. So she planned to confess after we started college. She had not expected me to be so impatient. If I had not confessed soon, she said she might have started crying. Our first kiss was beside Swan Lake on campus. It was Christmas. We had just returned from a part-time job. It was nearly midnight as I walked her back to her dormitory. As we passed Swan Lake, I took out a little apple I had whereupon and gave it to her. She accepted it with a smile. But I complained. It is Christmas. Did you not get me a gift? Qinghan was run ragged every day, so she truly had not thought about holiday surprises. But she did not want to disappoint me. She said, "Wait half an hour. I will be right back." She started to run off to buy me a gift. I pulled her back. No need. There is a gift I want. I lowered my head and slowly moved closer to her. Even now, Qinghan clearly remembered that night. How I leaned in first, my cheeks burning red. After some time, Qinghan's phone rang, jolting her awake from her memories. Her assistant's excited voice came through the phone. "President Gu, we found Mr. Lee's ashes. After learning of my death, Qinghan sent people to the funeral home to locate my ashes. But the funeral home said I had signed a confidentiality agreement before my death, and they would not disclose any information about me." Qinghan used some pressure to learn that I had arranged, through the funeral home, a lavender flower burial in Provence. But she did not know the precise location, so she sent her assistant to search Provence, while she stayed behind to avenge me. Now that they had found my ashes, she thought we could finally be together forever. Chuan, please walk a little slower. Wait for me. Her assistant hurriedly said, "President Gu, those are not ashes. Mr. Lee is not dead. He is in Aix-en-Provence." Half an hour later, a private jet took off from Jingxi, bound for Aix-en-Provence. "Mr. Lee, why did you not call me when you came out? What if you fell?" A faint smile touched my lips. Staring unfocused ahead, I said, "I woke up and wanted to come out and smell the flowers. I have become very familiar with this place these past few days. I will not fall so easily." Back in the operating room, I was pronounced dead after I went into cardiac arrest. But when the funeral home staff took my body away for cremation, my heart slowly began beating again. I felt no joy at escaping death. I knew death would ultimately claim me. I did not know why heaven had let me live a few more days. I asked the funeral home staff to bring me to Provence so I could quietly wait for death here. The moment I finished speaking, my weak legs gave out and I fell. Fang Yuan quickly helped me up and seated me in a nearby chair. "Mr. Lee, you are too weak. You should stay seated." I felt around in my pocket and took out a bank card. Then I placed it in Fang Yuan's hand. "Yuan, thank you for caring for me these past few days. I have a feeling my time will come in the next day or two. There are still tens of thousands of yuan on this card. Consider it payment for your trouble." Fang Yuan quickly waved his hands. Remembering I could not see, he pushed the card back into my hand. "No, Mr. Lee. Looking after you is my job. Besides, I feel a real connection with you. I want to take care of you." I put the card back in his hand. "I am an orphan, and I will die soon. This money is useless to me. If you will not take it, then please, after I die, return to Jingxi and donate it to the orphanage." After I said that, Fang Yuan had no choice but to accept it. Solemnly, he said, "Do not worry, Mr. Lee. I will make sure your kindness reaches the children at the orphanage." I smiled faintly. "Thank you." Fang Yuan sat down beside me, leaning against me. "Mr. Lee, do you believe people truly go to heaven after they die?" "Why do you ask?" Fang Yuan said, "I recently watched a really heartbreaking romance drama. It made me cry my eyes out. In the end, the male lead died. He promised the heroine he would wait for her in heaven." Softly, I said, "When I was little, the caregivers at the orphanage always said people who did no evil and had pure souls would go to heaven after death." Fang Yuan said firmly, "Then someone as kind as you, Mr. Lee, will certainly go to heaven." Longing filled my voice. I have heard heaven is a world without sorrow or pain. There is only everlasting happiness there. But could a world without Qinghan truly make me happy? I was not sure. I grew up in the orphanage. All the children had the same haircut and wore the same clothes. Every day brought fixed activities and the same meals. Life was bleak and lifeless. Until Qinghan came to the orphanage when I was 7. She wore a white dress with beautiful little curls unlike anyone else's. She caught my attention at once. That night, I found her hiding beneath her covers, crying alone. I lifted her blanket and asked why she was crying. Children raised in an orphanage grow up early. We stopped crying when we were very young because we knew tears solved nothing. Tears still clung to Qinghan's lashes. She stared at me blankly. "I miss my mom and dad, but your parents do not want you anymore." Deep down, I believed only children abandoned by their parents were sent to orphanages. That only made her cry harder. with no other choice. I took out the milk candy I had treasured for so long, unwrapped it, and put it in her mouth. Only then did she stop crying. That was the first step in our friendship. Only later did I learn that Qinghan's parents had died in an accident, which was why she had been sent to the orphanage. She was different from those of us abandoned from the moment we were born. Yet deep down, I felt we were the same, because neither of us had parents. Qinghan told me about a world beyond the orphanage that I had never known. That made me especially clingy around her, longing for the world outside. For 11 years at the orphanage, we were each other's only family and support. When we were 18, she confessed to me. We were accepted into the same university. In our junior year, Qinghan earned her first fortune through programming. She bought a small 3-bedroom apartment. From then on, we had a home of our own. In that home, Qinghan and I shared our first time together. Afterward, she leaned against my shoulder, watching me design our wedding outfits. We planned to marry after graduation, have 2 lovely children, and become a happy family of 4. But fate was cruel. We had been together for 15 years. Qinghan filled every moment of my life. Even in heaven, I would not be happy without her. I began to envy the male lead Yuan had told me about. Though he had died, he had promised to meet the woman he loved most in heaven. But I had nothing. I did not even dare let Qinghan know I had died. Mr. Li, why are you crying? Yuan asked as he looked at my tear-streaked face. I hurriedly raised a hand and wiped away my tears. It is nothing. The wind got in my eyes. There was not even the slightest breeze. But Yuan did not expose my lie. He knew I was nowhere near as calm or accepting as I seemed. Who would not panic and fear death, especially when I was still so young? Yuan could not help lamenting heaven's unfairness. How could someone as kind and gentle as me be taken so young? Mr. Li, let me read you some news. It was one of our daily routines. Because I could not see, Yuan would pick amusing news stories to read to me. He took out his phone, scrolled through it, and cleared his throat. A couple imagined winning 5 million yuan in the lottery, then came to blows over how to divide it. A student named Li found an attractive older girlfriend online, but when they met in person, he discovered she was his roommate's mother. A robber stole more than 10,000 yuan in cash, only for a thief to steal it from him. So he angrily called the police. After he read several in a row, I merely gave him a perfunctory smile. There was no real amusement in it. He noticed I was especially down that day. Mr. Li, what is wrong today? Are you feeling unwell? I shook my head. I just did not sleep well last night. But it was not that I slept poorly. I had not slept at all. Because today was Qinghan and Ding Wang's wedding. Today, the woman I loved most was getting married. But I was not the groom. Then let me help you inside to rest. I still shook my head, as though I had made up my mind. Yuan, could you play the live broadcast of Qinghan and the Ding family's young master? Ding Wang's wedding in Jing City. Yuan did not understand, but he did as I asked. Mr. Li, why do you want to watch their wedding livestream? Back in Jing City, I heard their wedding would be incredibly lavish. The decorations alone cost over 100 million yuan. So I wanted to watch, then remembered I could not see. I changed my words. I want to hear how lavish their wedding is. Consider it a way to fulfill my longing for a wedding. Yuan entered a moderately popular influencer's livestream. He turned the volume all the way up so I could hear clearly. The streamer said to the camera, "Welcome to everyone just joining. Today, I will livestream the entire wedding of Jing City's rising tech star, Qinghan, and the Ding family's young master, Ding Wang." The camera panned around the venue. The streamer began her introduction. I heard Ms. Gu's beloved is very fond of lavender, so the entire wedding is themed in pale purple. Even the ballroom chandeliers are made of luxurious amethysts. The streamer went on and on about the wedding venue, from airlifted flowers to the silk red carpet at the center of the stage. I listened intently already, picturing the wedding scene in my mind. An hour later, dressed in the groom's attire, Ding Wang appeared at the entrance to the banquet hall. The female streamer gasped softly, "Here they come. The bride and groom are about to take the stage. Everyone, stay tuned to my live stream. Do not scroll away." Ding Wang, wearing a black suit, walked down the red carpet. His gaze steady, he headed toward the stage. The streamer said in confusion, "This is strange. Why is there only a groom? Where is the bride? And did the rumors not say that their wedding outfits would also have a lavender theme, personally designed by Qinghan? Why is Ding Wang wearing only an ordinary suit today?" Ding Wang walked to center stage and took the microphone, looking down at the guests. "Welcome, friends and family who have come from afar to attend today's wedding. I offer you all my sincere gratitude. Before the banquet begins, I have an announcement to make. Today's wedding has been canceled." The announcement threw the crowd into an uproar. Canceling a wedding at the wedding venue? It sounded absurd, and everyone began talking at once. The streamer exclaimed, "The bride is missing from her own wedding, leaving the groom all alone. To announce the wedding's cancellation, there has to be some huge scandal behind this. Could the bride have cheated before the wedding?" I was stunned too. Why would their wedding be cancelled? Why had Qinghan not appeared at the wedding? Countless suspicions flooded my mind. Holding the microphone, Ding continued. Canceling this wedding was a mutual decision between Qinghan and me. We believe marriage is sacred. On the eve of our wedding, we realized we were not the right people for each other. We both agree that marriage is not something to settle for. So, to avoid entering marriage, only to appear happy while growing distant at heart, then go our separate ways. We chose to stop this mistake in time. Ding gave the audience a deep bow. Once again, thank you all for coming. Qinghan has said that every expense for this banquet will be covered by her. Please consider this banquet a large gathering of friends. A reporter who had slipped in sharply asked Mr. Ding if canceling the wedding was a joint decision between you and Ms. Gu. Why is she not here at this banquet? Why are you alone, facing something this serious? Yesterday, as Qinghan boarded her flight, she called Ding. She told him she was going to Provence to find me. As for their wedding, she would have her assistant announce its cancellation through her personal account. That way, all the online abuse and rumors would fall on her, ensuring he emerged unscathed from the broken engagement. Ding refused and told her to find me without worry. She did not need to worry about the wedding. He could handle it himself. He would stand guard over his love one last time. So he still wore the groom's attire. In this life, he could at least say he had married her. His love for Qinghan could not compare to mine, but he would never let his own love fall too far short. With a composed smile, Ding said, I do not consider this a major matter. I believe I can handle it. As for Qinghan, she has something more important to do. It is more important to her than her own life. As her friend, of course I will support her with everything I have. Ding Wang's father led the family on stage to support him. They quickly left the reporter speechless. Ding looked at the family standing beside him. Warmth surged through his heart. At the same time, he offered Qinghan his most heartfelt blessing. He hoped she would find me and never be separated from me again. Qinghan's love for me, he had always seen it. He thought she had loved painfully, but now he understood that I had loved even more painfully. Ours was a love in which we had always chosen each other. He hoped heaven would show mercy to these two lovers and stop tormenting them. When the live stream ended, Fang Yuan bluntly complained, I can tell Mr. Ding is still in love with Qinghan. Even now, he is still defending her. If you ask me, Qinghan must have fallen out of love. She's a complete scumbag. Mr. Li, do you not agree? My mind was consumed by Qinghan and Ding canceling their wedding. I had not heard a word Fang Yuan said. Why had they canceled the wedding? Had Qinghan learned something? Mr. Li, what is wrong? Are you listening to me? I asked blankly. What did you say? Fang Yuan raised his voice and repeated himself. I said, they canceled the wedding because Qinghan must have fallen out of love. She's a total. He suddenly let out a scream. It startled me. I hurriedly reached out, feeling around. Xiao Yuan. What is it? Fang Yuan stared at the travel-worn figure before him, too shocked to speak. He swore he would never again speak badly of someone behind their back. Who would have imagined that the bride missing from the wedding would suddenly show up before him? He was about to tell me, when he saw the newcomer pull me straight into her arms. His eyes widened even further. Caught in someone's embrace, I thought it was Fang Yuan, but I realized almost at once that something was wrong. This person's height and build were nothing like Fang Yuan's. Who are you? Let me go. The newcomer did not say a word. She only held me tighter. Ever since losing sight, I had been constantly afraid. Just as I was about to struggle, I felt something warm fall against the side of my neck. She was crying. Qinghan's image instantly appeared in my mind. My voice trembled. Qinghan? Qinghan loosened her hold on me slightly. Her longing gaze rested on my face as she slowly said, Hey Chuan, it's me. Panic seized me. I had only one thought. She knew. No. I shoved her away and turned to run. But after only 2 steps, my blindness made me fall. Qinghan rushed over and gathered me into her arms. Her voice brimmed with longing and hurt. Chuan, how much longer will you keep pushing me away? I shook my head. You shouldn't be here. You should be in Jing City, at your wedding, beside Mr. Ding. Why are you here? Chuan, I love you. My love for you has never stopped. Not even for a single day. Please, don't push me away again. But I love you. I love you. I love you. Qinghan did not want to hear anything now. She only wanted to tell me she loved me. 3 years of suppressed longing and love finally erupted in that moment. I wrapped my arms tightly around Qinghan, tears streaming down my face. But I was dying. Qinghan, I'm about to die. I could not stay by her side much longer. I did not want her to see me die. Nor did I want her, after I was gone, to go on, living in guilt and longing. Qinghan gently stroked my cheek. She wiped the tears from my face. Chuan, I won't let you die. From now on, even if you run to the ends of the earth, you will never leave me behind again. With that, she pulled me up and led me outside. On her way here, she had contacted the leading specialist. She would snatch my life back from death itself. Qinghan took me to the car. We soon arrived at the hospital, After a thorough examination, the doctor kept sighing at the report in his hands. Every organ in his body is severely depleted, with lesions caused by prolonged use of unknown medication. The fact that he has lasted this long is already a miracle. Qinghan refused to believe it and snatched the report from the doctor. Don't you claim to have the most advanced medical technology? As long as you save him, money is no object. Ms. Gu, this gentleman's condition. I'm sorry, but there is truly nothing we can do. His body has reached the end of its strength. At any moment, he could. The doctor left the sentence unfinished, but everyone understood what he meant. Qinghan seized the doctor's collar in fury. You're talking nonsense. You're the one who is incompetent. How dare you curse a Chuan? Lying in the hospital bed, I reached out. I called Qinghan's name, and she immediately let go. She came to my side and held my hand. A Chuan, I'm here. In a weak voice, I said, Han, take me home. I know my own body. Don't make things difficult for the doctor anymore. A Chuan, don't listen to his nonsense. Your body is healthy. You'll be healthy and live a long life. Han, take me home. I don't want the final days of my life to be spent in a hospital. Qinghan coaxed softly. A Chuan, be good. This hospital is simply incapable. I'll take you to another hospital. Han, stop lying to yourself. To see you one last time before I die, to touch your cheek once more, is enough for me. Qinghan would not give up. She took me to another hospital. The result was the same. Every function in my body had reached its limit. I could die at any moment. At my insistence, Qinghan took me back to the cabin beside the lavender fields. The whole way, she was overwhelmed by fear. She held me tightly, afraid even to blink, terrified that the next second, I would silently close my eyes and leave her forever. I sensed her unease. I raised my hand, tracing her arm to her cheek. I comforted her. Han, don't be afraid. Qinghan's eyes reddened as she lowered her head into my arms. Chuan, why did you have to be so foolish? I'd rather die than let you become like this for me. Han, if our situations had been reversed 3 years ago, what would you have done? Qinghan considered the question seriously. In the end, only one answer remained in her mind. If our positions had been reversed 3 years ago, she likely would have made the same choice, because we loved each other more than our own lives. Qinghan deliberately said, I would never be as foolish as you. I would marry you. Then after you died, forget you after a few years and marry someone else. Pretending to be upset, I said, had I known, I wouldn't have saved you. Yes, Chuan, you shouldn't have saved me. A faint smile touched my lips. But Han, I don't want you to die. I want you to live safely and healthily in this world. Qinghan choked out. Chuan, in a world without you, what reason is there for me to go on living? That was what I feared most. That was why I had never dared tell her the truth. Han, promise me this. Even if I die, you must live well. I'll allow you to mourn me for 3 years. But after 3 years, you must marry Mr. Ding and build a family of your own. Seeing that I was still worrying about her even now, tears fell from Qinghan's eyes. Chuan, do you know how cruel those words are? You're asking me to watch you die, then marry someone else and have children? I squeezed her hand and begged, Han, this is my final request while I am alive. You have to promise me. Qinghan clasped my hand in return. Chuan, aside from that, I will agree to anything you ask. From the moment she learned the truth, she had decided that from then on, she would live and die with me. We promised we would be together for life. Now that you have suffered so much for me, how could I possibly abandon you and let you leave alone? Chuan, whether you go to hell or heaven, I will be with you. Tears slipped from my eyes one by one. Why are you so foolish? Why do you have to be so foolish? Qinghan raised her hand and wiped my tears. Anyone can call me foolish, but not you, because you are 1,000, 10,000 times more foolish than I am. My heart was filled with both sweetness and despair, because I knew I could not change her mind. She truly intended to die with me, but I did not want her to die. Han, since you know I did all this for you, then you should not let my sacrifice be in vain. You should live well, carrying my hopes with you, and use my eyes to see the world for me. But no matter what I said, she would not yield. When we returned to the cabin, Qinghan tried to take my hand as I got out of the car. I angrily refused, but she did not mind. To her, my anger now instead made me seem like the lively man I used to be. She carefully guarded me from behind as we walked to the cabin. I sat on the bed, curled into a ball with my knees hugged to my chest. I called Feng Yuan's name. Qinghan said bluntly, there is only one room here. I arranged for him to stay at a hotel. Now, only Qinghan and I were in the cabin. She did not want to be apart from me for even a moment. Qinghan fetched water to help me wash up. I refused to cooperate and even kicked over the basin. She patiently cleaned up the room. Then she brought another basin of water. As she washed my fingers, she saw the tiny scars in my palm. All the ways she had once hurt me came rushing back to her. She dropped to one knee before me. Lowering her head, she gently kissed my palm. It was both surrender and repentance. Chuan, I'm sorry. I was blinded by foolishness and jealousy. During the 3 years you were gone, I never forgot you for a moment. I wanted to find you, but I was afraid of seeing you and Liu Ryan together as a couple. That act you put on with Liu Ryan back then became a nightmare that haunted me for a long time. Then you appeared before me again, offering the shell bracelet in exchange for money. I was both happy and angry. Happy because you had kept the bracelet I gave you. Angry because you wanted to return it to me for 30,000 yuan. I did a series of irrational things that hurt you. But Chuan, we do not have much time left. Are you sure you want to keep being angry with me in our final moments? Bitterly, I said, Han, you know I do not have much time left. I only ask that you grant my final request, live well. But I don't want to. Chuan, you have no idea how. During those 3 years without you, I suffered just to stay alive. Hearing her voice, I finally couldn't hold back any longer. I reached out to pull her up, but touched her tear-soaked cheek. She was crying again, and my heart softened. Han, when did you become such a crybaby? Qinghan readily admitted, I've never been as strong as you. Have you forgotten when we first met? I was crying then too. Feeling my way, I took her hand. I pulled her close and said, Han, fate has been unfair enough to us. I fought so hard to beat it once and save your life. Please, don't let me lose. Alright, it was the first time I had blamed fate for its cruelty, for making our lives so full of hardship and twist. Qinghan gave in, because she wanted me to win. She wanted me to triumph over this unfair fate. She promised she would live well, even if living meant nothing but pain. That night, we slept in each other's arms for the first time in 3 years. I slept deeply, but Qinghan did not dare sleep for long. Every so often, she would look up at me, making sure I had not vanished. When I woke early the next morning, I felt a kiss on my forehead. A smile rose to my lips without my noticing. This was the life I had once longed for. Waking in my lover's arms every morning. Even if the world ended tomorrow, I would have the courage to face it. Then Qinghan whispered in my ear, Hey Chuan, let's get married. You still owe me a wedding. I froze. But Qinghan raised a hand and pressed it against my lips. No buts. You only need to say, I do. I'll take care of everything else. I do. I truly did not have much time left. From then on, I didn't want to waste another second. After we got up, Qinghan made breakfast herself. After eating, we registered our marriage locally. That afternoon, the wedding attire she had designed herself was flown in. I ran my hand over the intricate patterns on the groom's attire. I couldn't help asking, Is this the one made for Mr. Ding? Qinghan answered, Yes and no. The style is similar to the one Ding Wang tried on before, but I made this one with my own hands. Hey Chuan, let me help you put it on. Our wedding was simple. It was held amid an endless field of purple lavender. Assistant He Fangyuan served as both officiant and witness. Groom, Mr. Li Chuan, do you take Miss Qinghan as your wife and enter into marriage with her, in sickness and in health, in poverty and in wealth, or for any other reason? Will you love, cherish, respect, and accept her, and remain faithful to her until the end of your life? Marrying her had been my dream for a very long time. Now, that dream had finally come true. I shouted, I do. Bride, Miss Qinghan, do you take Mr. Li Chuan as your husband and enter into marriage with him, in sickness and in health, in poverty and in wealth, or for any other reason? Will you love, cherish, respect, and accept him, and remain faithful to him until the end of your life? A smile played on Qinghan's lips, though her eyes brimmed with tears. I do. The groom may now kiss the bride. I lifted her veil, and just as with our first kiss, I slowly drew close to Qinghan, nervous and thrilled. A gentle breeze swept past, carrying waves of floral fragrance. It felt like nature's blessing upon us. After we married, my body grew weaker by the day. Often, I would sleep for an entire day. Whenever that happened, Qinghan would sit completely still, beside me, like a statue until I opened my eyes again. Only then did she seem to come alive. Whenever I was awake, I loved going with Qinghan to the lavender fields outside, resting against her shoulder as I breathed in the flower scent, and felt nature all around us. A breeze brushed through my hair. In a weak voice, I said, Hey Han, I'm so sleepy. Qinghan gripped my hand tightly. Her voice trembling, she said, Then sleep. I'll stay with you always. But stubbornly, I did not want to close my eyes. When death comes, you truly can feel it. I knew that if I closed my eyes now, I would never wake again. I raised my hand and gently caressed her cheek. I wanted to etch her face deep into my memory. Han, I heard that kind people go to heaven after they die. There is no sorrow there, no pain, only eternal happiness. Do you think I can go to heaven? Qinghan's eyes were red as she said, You will, Chuan. You will live happily in heaven. Han, this time, I'll go to heaven first and wait for you. Come find me after you have lived a long life, all right? Tears streamed down her cheeks as she said, All right, Chuan. I will come find you. A satisfied smile appeared on my lips. My beloved, and I had made a promise to meet again in heaven. In heaven, I would love her forever, and wait for her forever. My fingers slipped from her cheek. This time, I never woke again. My body slowly grew cold in Qinghan's arms. She held me tightly and kissed my cheek. She said, "Hey Chuan, I'm sorry. I can't keep the promise I made to you." Qinghan took out the medicine she had prepared long ago and swallowed it. She said, "Hey Chuan, I'm going to heaven to find you now. You deceived me once before. Now I'll deceive you once too. That makes us even. When we meet in heaven, please don't blame me, though it is all right if you do, as long as you let me stay by your side." A faint smile touched her lips as a breeze swept through. Our bodies fell together into the lavender field. Both our faces wore contented smiles. From then on, at last, we could be together forever. When Assistant He Fengyuan rushed over, our bodies had long since gone cold. They laid our bodies to rest. After cremating us, as we had wished, they scattered our ashes across the lavender field. With tears in his eyes, Fengyuan asked Assistant Su, "Do you think Mr. Li and President Gu will be together in their next life?" "They will. Not even death can separate them."